Hey guys, it's Graham here. Today I'm going to be sharing some tips and tricks, but also some incredible knowledge that I've been able to learn from two of my favorite friends in the aquarium world, Scott and Shianne. Their discus collection is just incredible, as you're about to see. We're just looking at a few of my favorite photos that I've managed to take from my own collection. But a lot of the knowledge I did pick up along the way that let me have this fish tank with about 80 discus in it, very successfully too, was from Scott and Shianne. They have decades of experience between them, and it's all culminated in this spectacular display 6x2x2 in their living room. Scott and Shianne on screen now, two of the most lovely people, as you can see. Lovely smile from Shianne there. And this is why we're going to be listening to them. Have a look at this. Just incredible. Honestly, my filming is subpar and just didn't do it justice, guys. I'm still learning how to film fish, and wow. This is just the nicest display tank I think I've ever seen. Still my personal favorite. They've got near on 3 or 4 pairs. Actually, after we started filming, a pair actually started spawning one of the logs in the background. But not only that, but when Shianne walks up to the tank, the fish follow. Like, that is cool. This is why we keep fish. This is just supreme. Each one of these specimens, in my opinion, is just perfect. Excellent body shape, the right eye ratio. I'm going to be doing a video on that later on as well, but this is just why we want to have display tanks in our house, because they've just done it superb. That's why we're going to be listening to them. We're going to be starting off with Shianne talking about the filtration. They also make their own food, so we're going to be talking about that a bit later on. And Scott's also going to be talking about the substrate, which I think 3 of the biggest components of this tank. Guys, sit back, relax, enjoy, take notes, because if you want a fish tank to look like this, to look as supreme as this, these tips and their knowledge is definitely going to help you. So guys, thanks again to Scott and Shianne for letting me interview them and come into their house. It was just a dream for me to be able to see this and record it. Just looking back right now, it makes me happy. So guys, here's Shianne now. I know the audio isn't perfect. It was recorded on a GoPro, but it's worth it. Just listen closely.
Alright, the flow system in this tank. We talked with the tank builder at the construction stage, and we decided how we wanted to go. Is we have a central overflow that goes over the edge. If you look, there's the screening, and then it flows over, and then there's a bell system that silences the impact and also the draining down into the piping. If you go to the other side, you'll see the down at the back coming through, and then it's draining through 2 filter sucks to pre-filter all the sediments out, which is still got some underneath, but then it flows back up. In this compartment, we put a heater inside because this heater, it likes to be a bit more vertical. It doesn't like to be all the way flat on the other side. Once it overflows into this wet-dry filtration compartment, we have the filter media on the top, which is the dry with a grid, and more submerged filter media underneath. There's a mix of 3 different filter media in there, all in little big wash bags. This is one trick we learned. This makes cleaning very easy, is so we can pull the whole bag out, just shake it to clean it, and then put it back in. And the whole bag is plastic, so there's no metal part. And then come back out through this compartment. I crammed a bit more filter media over here, and then it drains through to the outflow, which is pumped by this 5,000 liter per hour pump. We put it on full power because we actually have split the output force into 2 different outlets on both sides, and the outlet has a 360 diffuse head, so it doesn't hit the water or the fish too hard. You can see the grass still being pushed away, but it's not really hurting the fish. The flow is designed to go from the side, come to the center, and then push all the sediment up through the middle overflow. And this is the position we feed the fish, so everything goes back through the drain really effectively.
How cool is that, guys? We're going into the tank now using the GoPro. You don't quite often see this point of view. I am sorry it's not the most stable footage, but it gives a good idea of the fish from within the tank and just how clean the water is. So up next we've got Scott talking about the substrate and how they make sure that they don't get any anoxic layers, how it's so spotlessly clean, and a few secrets that you can use yourself. It's so simple when it's revealed, but when I got to get the answers, I was like, alright, this is cool. It's worthwhile. So alright, here's Scott.
Okay, so for the tank, what we used on the bottom is, you can see it down here, Bunnings Play Sand. And what we did is we got like 20, 30 liters, take it outside, put it in a bucket, run the water through it, and then I spent about an hour and a half washing it all by hand to go through all of that. By the time we put it in, we also sifted it. So sifting out all like the bigger shell pieces, you'll see there are some shell pieces there, but mainly we wanted to get rid of that. We wanted to have a really just fine white sand. So we sifted it all through, I think it was a fly screen, something along those lines. Clean it all up, pour it in. With that amount of cleaning, we had absolutely no dust come up. It was clearer than this, because it's tanned at the moment, clearer than this about a minute after we put it in. It's been great. It very heavy. All the poop and sediment and stuff sits on the top. The cories stir it up, so there's no problems with it. It's fantastic.
Alrighty guys, so now we've looked at the water column and the water filtration. We've also looked at how they keep the sediment really clear. Up next we're going to be looking at how they keep the fish in such pristine condition. As you can see from these close-ups, there is barely, I haven't actually noticed any from this particular footage, any tears in their fins, whether it be the dorsal, the pectoral, the trailing fins, the stringy fins on the bottom of them, I don't know what it's called, but also the patterns on the fish are just exquisite. Now, that's just good breeding, but these fish have been raised and looked after beautifully. And we're going to be asking Shianne to answer the dietary questions, because with Discus, 80% of the battle is the water, 20% of the battle is the food. So here she is. Make sure you get your notepad out, because this is cool.
Hello, my name's Shianne. This is my most favorite fish tank that I ever owned. And now I just want to tell you a little bit about the food I make for my fishes. The super hamburger food. Ta-da! So beef hard mince with some spinach, a little bit of garlic, blend everything up in my meat grinder, and then flatten them into packages. And then when I want to use it, just break it into small pieces. I usually defrost them in a small dish, drain out the blood water, flush it out a few times, get rid of the excess nutrient which turns into waste in the water, and then dump it straight in. Oh, the fish loves it. I'm not the person who cares like to the very details of every single nutrient I have to give it to my fish. So this one, they have been surviving on it for a year and a half, and then they're all getting fat, color's good, so I'm gonna keep using it because it pollutes the water very little and easy to make and keeps very easy in the freezer as well.
Hey guys, how cool was that? So we've looked at the three basic, but also what determines an average discus setup to a spectacular one like this. Look at the water column, your life support. Then if you're going to have sediment or not, you don't want it impacting the water quality. So do the little things right, and you could say the macro side of the tank or the long-term sustainability will be a lot easier. And then if you look at the diet, so your fish are in great health. Shianne showed us what she does. As you can see, a beef heart diet, without really supplementing too much into it, is more than these fish need as long as it's high quality. She is very humble, guys. She's put a lot of time and effort into developing that diet. I will try and get the specifics from her if people want it, but please let us know in the comments below if you've appreciated this video. I'm really appreciative to both of them for letting me into their house. And this was about 8, 9 o'clock at night, and they let me film for as long as I wanted. Unfortunately, we don't have any footage of the fish eating because they'd already been fed, so I didn't really want to feed them again. But do the small things right, as you can see by both Scott and Shianne at the planning stage, and it's just going to be happy days. A big tip as well to take home from this is not letting the excess nutrients go right into the water column, because all you're going to nourish are the bacteria in your tank, so you're going to get algae blooms as well. off the back of that. There's some stir by there, the little cleaning crew on aisle, Amazon on plant, and there's an L134 there. So really cool tank. Thanks again, and I hope you enjoyed as much as I did, and thank you for joining me. See you in the next fish tutorial video. Thanks again, Scott and Shianne.